Hey everyone and welcome back. In today's season we are continuing our journey inside Rhino and its Julie plugin Matrix. We are going to explore the single line command and then dive into some essential selection tools and shortcuts that will make your workflow much faster and more efficient. So stay with me, there's a lot of great stuff coming up. Let's jump right in. The next command we are going to get familiar with is the single line, which, as the name suggests, has one start point and one end point. After you click on the single line command, take a look at the command bar. You'll notice an option called both sides. If you activate that, you can draw your line in both directions from the center point. For example, if you type 10 millimeters, it will draw 10 millimeters to one side and 10 millimeters to the other side, giving you a total length of 20 millimeters. Now, let's talk about selecting objects. When you left click on an object, it turns pink. That means it's selected. Once selected, you can easily move it around. But what if you want to copy it? Here's a great trick. While dragging the object to a new location, just tap the Alt key once, and Rhino will create a copy right at that new position. The key point here is that you need to tap Alt without any pause, just a quick, light tap. That's all it takes, and you can repeat this as many times as you want, copying the same object over and over again. If you want to copy your object in a straight line, either horizontally, vertically, or perpendicular, simply hold down the Shift key while you drag, and then tap Alt to make the copy. This combines the Ortho constraint with the copy function. Super useful for precise layouts. Now, let me show you something important. I'm going to increase the number of copies so I can explain a key concept. In this software, and in most other software too, we have the classic Ctrl+Z shortcut for undo and Ctrl+Y for redo. You'll also see two buttons on the screen that do exactly the same thing, undo and redo. Very handy. Now, let's talk about selection methods because there are two ways to drag and select objects in Rhino and Matrix. If you drag from right to left, you'll select every object that is inside or even just touching the selection box. It's a more flexible selection. But if you drag from left to right, you'll only select objects that are completely inside the box, nothing else. You can actually see the difference. The selection border is dashed when dragging from right to left and solid when dragging from left to right. Now, once you have selected multiple objects, you can deselect specific ones by holding down the Ctrl key and clicking on them. And if you want to add more objects to your selection, just hold down the Shift key and click on the new object. Finally, let's look at some essential navigation shortcuts. You can use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and zoom out. You can also hold Ctrl key and your right click of your mouse and drag up or down to zoom in and zoom out. To pan, move around the viewport, just hold the right mouse button and drag. And if you want to delete any object, simply select it and press the delete key on your keyboard. These are the basic tools you use every single time you work in Rhino or Matrix. So take your time to practice them. They'll save you a ton of time in the long term. And that wraps up today's season. We covered the single line command, learned how to copy objects with Alt, explored different selection methods, and went through essential navigation shortcuts like undo, redo, zoom, pan, and delete. These are the everyday tools you'll rely on constantly, so practice them until they become second nature. If you found this helpful, please hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions. I read them all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy designing!